It is the Black Cobra himself, Dewey Cooper, of course, a legendary striker in his own rights and now becoming a legendary coach as well. Dewey, fitting us in this morning, a busy morning. You're going to go work out, I know, here with Amir Albazi, who's headlining the UFC event this weekend. I got to ask you, anytime somebody headlines a UFC event for the first time, I ask them what it feels like, if it's special. But now I want to ask you as a coach who's been a part of a lot of big fights, but when you see your guy get opportunities for the first time, is that still special to you?
Absolutely. It's a very special moment for everyone involved. Amir has waited his entire life for this opportunity. His whole country of Iraq has waited for this opportunity. It's a big one. It's a tough challenge. But in the UFC, what isn't right? I can tell you one thing. He's ready. He's looked incredible in the gym. He's made huge strides these last 3 weeks, and we are expecting a very successful night this upcoming Saturday.
It's awesome, man. It's a fight that I can't wait for. Of course, France, just fought for a title recently. I mean, a former title challenger. It's a big step up in competition for Amir, right? But he's had some big fights scheduled that fell through. I know a lot of people say, well, who's he fought so far? He's had fights scheduled. The schedule hasn't worked out for him. So what do you think? Is this the right test for him at the right time? Or is this, are there nerves even on your side? Like, is he ready yet?
Well, let me get closer to the camera and talk to you guys. Anytime you get title eliminator type fights, you have to take them, and it's the right time. Nothing happens by luck. Everything happens by the hard work and dedication in which you put into what you do. And Amir has put the work in. He definitely deserves it. I still got my workout clock on. Hold on, I hear it ringing. 1 second. I just finished training, guys. I hate to do that, but geez.
I told you he's a busy man.
I don't want to be ringing the entire time we're doing this damn interview. I'm lucky to be on here.
He spends his whole life in 3 and 5 minute rounds.
There we go. I turned it off. Sorry. I literally finished working out like 15 minutes ago. I took a quick shower, brushed my teeth, and jumped on here, and I didn't turn the workout clock off. Sorry about that, John. But for all you guys, Amir Albazi has spent his entire life for these moments. He's trained. He's way more well-rounded than what you guys think, and he's going to show the world this Saturday night.
I love it, man. I'm excited for this fight. I wanted to ask you, too, about Javid and Farid Basharat. It seems like those three guys all have kind of a real strong connection, and those two guys look like they have, incredibly bright futures as well. So what can you tell me about the relationship between all three and kind of what your hope are for the Basharat brothers as well?
Can you believe this? These guys came together like 12 years ago, training in each other's garage in the UK. They didn't know anything. They just learned from watching videos and beating up on each other and getting in street fights because guys were trying to bully them, and they didn't let that happen. They stuck up and fought for themselves. Imagine 3 random guys getting together, training in their garage, beating each other up, and all of them end up being in the U.S., in the fight capital of the world of Las Vegas, and all 3 in the UFC. All 3 got here the same way through Dana White Contender Series, man. If that's not a success story, I don't know what it is. So they accomplished, all 3 of them have accomplished their initial dreams. Now, once you accomplish that initial dream of getting into the UFC, then it's time to catapult from there. And they're doing just that. Amir Albazi's having his chance to really catapult himself into a championship this weekend. And those Basharat brothers, Javid and Farid, will be coming soon. They both want to fight by August, September, and they're in the gym right now, always looking good. The Basharat brothers are the real deal. You get sugar and spice, hot and cold, flame and water, whatever you want to call those guys. Whoever's stepping there with them better be ready because they are the real deal.
I love it, man. I love it, man. The motivation that you provide is so awesome. All right, let's go from prospects to some veterans that you've been working with lately. Cody Garbrandt. Man, I want to ask you, guy seems like he's in a great place. The last time we talked to him, man, it feels like just, the things outside of the cage are kind of starting to kind of come together for him finally. Now, we saw him in March. Maybe not the kind of fireworks that we're used to seeing from him, but a composed fight, a smart fight, a fight that I think he probably really needed for his confidence and his self-belief overall. What can you tell me about Cody Garbrandt? Because it's crazy with everything that he's already gone through. The man is still only 31 years old.
Yes. Thing is, yeah, he's still in his prime. He's actually in the midst of his prime. So people trying to write him off. The story isn't over and the ship has not sailed. Cody No Love is a special guy. People really underestimate how athletic he is. He's a quick twitch track runner who happens to be a fighter. Of course, he wrestled his whole life and all of that, but he has real athletic ability. And sometimes when people rise so fast and so suddenly, and that fame hits them, if their priorities aren't in order, and if their life gets a little dismal, everything can come tumbling down. The good thing, like you said, he's still young. He's learned from his mistakes. He simplified his life. And he made a change that he felt he needed a new beginning. Luckily, I ended up being a part of that change, and the people here in Vegas at Extreme Coutures. One thing about me that people don't understand, I'm a real dude. I'm not just here to hold pads and yell. I'm here to help people get better. My job as a coach is to make you get better in every aspect: technical, physical, spiritual, mental, psychological. And the last one that people forget about is emotional. That's where all the anxiety kicks in and the stress makes you ball up and you feel like you're carrying the cross and you can't get off. And I think these sort of things kind of bundle Cody up. And once you lose one or two fights, oh shit, the internet's talking. People start to lose confidence. And if you buy into that stuff, it's a dismal thing and it's hard to come out of. I told Cody after the first session after we trained, I said, Cody, you're a goddamn Formula 500 car. You got the engine, you got everything. You just need to be polished up, put some new treads on, and we tune that engine up. And that's exactly what I'm going to do for you. I said, I know what you do, but I'm going to make it sharper, cleaner, smarter, stronger. And that's what you see. You see, people want to see that risky, exciting, awesome fighter. But if it goes wrong, what do they say? Especially
he doesn't have it anymore. He's got no chin.
Yeah,
He's got,
especially if it goes wrong 2 or 3 times in a row, you're done. So sometimes, of course, we want to put on a spectacular performance. Of course, we want to delight the fans from all over the world. That's the basis of this sport that's so exciting. But sometimes you have to be a little selfish and just win. And I used the term earlier, simplify your mind. And that's the simplification that we worked on. Hey, man, just win. W-I-N, just win. If it comes exciting, awesome. If it comes GSP style, awesome. At the end of the day, get your goddamn hand raised and we'll be more spectacular next time. And once guys buy into this philosophy, they may have a boring fight here and there, but then that swagger will jump back in. The killer they are will show itself, and then they'll be back on the top of the echelon of fighters in the UFC. And that's all it is. It's a mental twerk, not putting so much pressure on yourself and just enjoying the process of training. And last thing, since we're talking about that, I'm not saying fun. It's not necessarily fun, but you can enjoy it. And this last camp we had, Cody got a bunch of injuries, fights got postponed, but at the end of the day, he enjoyed the camp we had, and he's going to enjoy getting back in the camp here in the next week or so and get ready for his next fight. I actually love Cody because he's a cool-ass dude, and he trains hard. And anybody, if you're a cool-ass dude and work hard, you're my person.
I love it, man. Just the passion in your voice, it's always been there. But, dude, I feel like lately, more than ever, man, I hear your name come up a lot. And maybe it's just because there's so much talent coming to Las Vegas. But, man, I see these guys come in, and whether they're prospects like we've talked about, whether they're veterans that are trying to reconnect and reestablish, they talk about the amazing stuff at Extreme Couture. They talk about the amazing stuff at the PI. But then they always mention your name. They say, but, man, Dewey, we really connected. And I don't think it speaks to what you were talking about, the emotional and the psychological side of the sport, that maybe it's not just X's and O's and strategies, but it's about the human side of things. Is that what you think maybe the key is to your success as a coach?
Well, I've been doing this a long time. I started my first champion was in 2001. She was a boxer named Jessica Ranger Rakosi. You guys seen it on the Ultimate Fighter show with Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate with the coaches. You guys seen a boxer with no MMA experience get to the finals, defeating people like Roxanne Modafferi, Raquel Pennington, and she finally got beat in the UFC, in the Ultimate Fighter finals against Juliana Pena, the Vixen. So I've been doing this a long time. I've been training since 1984. That was before most of these guys were born. So I think I have a lot of fights in kickboxing and boxing, and I have 4 MMA fights. People don't understand that. So people connect with me because I've been in there. I've fought with a lot of guys, and all these guys are who your heroes are in mixed martial arts now. When they were training with me. Tito Ortiz trained with me. Chuck Liddell and I sparred for like 2 years, twice a week, when Chuck was training with my coach, Master One Kick Nick Blumgren. I've been in camps with Forrest Griffin, just literally, so many guys I can't even think of them. Mike Whitehead, just so many OG UFC guys. I've been in camps with them when they needed a good striker, especially if they needed a southpaw. I was the guy they were calling in 2003, 4, 5, 6, going to Big Bear, training with guys. I mean, so many guys I've trained with in the mixed martial arts world. And the reason why people are just act like I'm some new guy now is because, as you know, in boxing, it's all about the individual trainer. But the dynamics of MMA, it's a team concept. You have a striking coach, you have a grappling coach, you may have a conditioning and a wrestling coach, or some of them may do the same jobs. But you always had the gym name. ATT, AKA, Extreme Couture, City Boxing, things like this. So it wasn't about the individual trainer the way kickboxing and boxing is. So I think that's why I go under the radar, because I trained guys at Extreme Couture since way back. I was training Jay Harun and Phil Baroni way back in the days. That's how I was in Phil Baroni's corner for UFC when he fought Pete Sale. I mean, I've been in this shit a long time. But I didn't have my own gym. I was a fighter at those times, helping out dudes, because I'm a martial arts fighter, man. There's nothing more important than fighting to me. So if a guy calls me and say, yo, man, I want some work, I'm like, let's go. Whether they're a fighter, coach, if you need help, I got you. And so way back when this UFC really got popular and the gym started getting their names out there, I was helping guys individually this entire time. Heath Herring, guys like this, man. I'm old school in this game, but now with the bonus of social media really blowing guys up, and the new guys now mentioning my name in interviews with great guys like you. Now people are hearing it. But I've been doing this shit a long time. I've been involved in MMA since before Tito won the belt way back then. And Tito Ortiz will attest, I was in camp with him for all 3 Vitor Belfort fights. 2 of them got canceled due to both guys getting injured. Third one finally happened. Tito won. I was the southpaw he sparred with the entire camp in Big Bear. So a lot of people think I'm a new guy. I'm not a new guy. I've been doing this a long time. And it's the same passion I had when I was a fighter. I believe in hard work and dedication. I do my roll work. I jump my rope. I kick the bag after I'm done training. I do all those small essential things that a lot of guys don't do. It's like the bodybuilder working the big muscle group and not doing the ligaments and the tendons. I get through the whole bone of everything. And that's why a lot of the new guys like what I do. It's the real comprehensive system that I'm doing. Plus, we're putting that energy and I'm being real with them. They have a bad day, I'm going to tell them they're having a bad day. If they're awesome, I'm going to tell them they're awesome. They can trust me. I'm full transparency. I'm a real brother, if you know what I mean. And I think that's why a lot of new guys like me. I'm not just here to rectify you and make you feel like you're doing good. There's a lot of accountability involved because I'm letting them hit and kick on me very hard. Francis punches me and kicks me to the body hard. I go home at night hurting, but they know I'm giving my best effort, so in return, they give me their best effort. Sorry about going on a tangent about that, but that's the truth of the matter.
It is the truth of the matter, and I love the way you laid it out, because I bet there's a lot of people that don't realize how long you've been in the game. So I think it's really cool that I feel like now people are starting to give you that recognition, and they are starting to show. And I wonder, I mean, does that make it difficult for you to figure out like how many people you can work with and how many people you can be a part of? Because in all the time that I've known you, I know this, like you don't just check in and check out. Like when you're there, you're invested, and as you're invested emotionally, you're invested physically, you're invested in all those things. So how do you find time of the day, or how do you say, well, I can work with another fighter, I can give my time here, or no, I just can't do it anymore because I'm already tapped out?
Yeah, well, I have a rule. As long as I have the energy to do it, I'm gonna do it. And guys, my energy is endless. Most of the time, I'm honestly going from 8 a.m. till 8 or 9 p.m. every single day. Even on Sundays, some of my guys work out. But to answer your question, it's getting to a point where I can't have too many more guys because I do need that individual time. But I try my best to accommodate everyone. If you are a fighter, I'm what they call a fight coach. I'm not for the civilians. I'm not for the person that want to get started, though. I love helping the kids out. I'm a fight coach. If you want to fight, whether you're amateur or pro, as long as you're willing to fight, I'm your guy. I'll train you 4, 5, 6 months. I'll train you for a year straight, as long as you plan on fighting, because that's what I love. That's what I do. That's my true calling. I've done it since I was 9 years old, and this is what I really love to do. Martial arts and fighting saved my life. Honestly, a lot of people say that I would not be here speaking as positive as I do and being as internally happy as I am if it wasn't for martial arts and fighting. Because I was getting in a lot of trouble, getting a lot of street fights at a very young age. And martial arts really changed my life. There's something about being a young kid and people give you, applause, give you a standing ovation. Back then, there was no cell phones and camera phones. People walking up with a napkin, asking you at 10 years old to give them an autograph. There's something magical about that changed my life. And that's why I said to the day I die, I will give 100% to this fight thing.
Man, well said. Well, we should say, by the way, as much as we know you in the world of mixed martial arts, that's not the only focus you have. Boxing's still very much a big part of your life, including this Team Combat League, a new concept that you're not only – kind of involved with, you're the president of and coaching as well. So we're talking about how busy you are. You got this concept is very unique. Talk to me about, kind of how you got involved in this and why you think this Team Combat League might be something new for the world of boxing.
Yeah, man, it's a very interesting story. Just me being an honest, hardworking martial artist. I guess the hard work does pay off eventually. Some people have the short journey. They make one explosion and they get all these opportunities, and some people have to really prove themselves and take that long country mile. And that was me, but I was just blessed. There was some investors that wanted to start a new company. They had this idea of somehow making boxing fights more exciting. How can we do that? What can we do? We want to come out with a fight product, but not guys beating each other up for 10 to 12 rounds straight. We want to figure out a way to make the fight short, explosive, and energetic, much like the times of today. Smartphones, automatic information right now at your fingertips. Keep it moving, buddy. Keep it moving. They wanted to do a sport that fit today's landscape. They also had a brilliant idea about the team sports, because the NBA at one point didn't have a bunch of fanfare and people so excited about watching the Lakers play. And NFL, same thing. So they thought team concepts are actually the best way to do sports. And they figured, what better way than to have fighting mesh with that team camaraderie and that team concept? So these were just guys brainstorming this great idea. They want to talk to people who are in the fight world, fighting and coaching. And when you think about guys who fought boxing, kickboxing, MMA, who's coached world champion boxers, kickboxers, UFC champion Francis Ngannou, and a bare knuckle boxing champion, they say, God, Dewey has trained a champion in all 4 aspects of pugilism. So they called me in just to talk to me about some ideas on some advisory type of role. And of course, I didn't do all this NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. I'm a real dude. When I tell you I'm a real brother, I'm a real brother. I gave up all the information. I'm a horrible businessman. I gave up everything. I gave them every idea I could. I connected them with the proper people to really make their concepts a reality, and they rewarded me with it. So they made me the president of this company we're talking about, but I haven't even really announced it. The TCL, Team Combat League. You guys see the logo right there. And I'm such a crazy dude. I'm a horrible businessman. I said, guys, it's such an honor to have such a great offer as the president of a new company that I know is going to do well. But I told you I'm a martial artist. I told you I'm a fighter. I said the only way I can do it is if I'm able to compete in the first season. After that, I'll step away. I cannot see myself sitting in an executive position and watching all these teams compete for a championship and I not be involved. And for a while, there was pushback on it. People said, no, that's not right. And I'm like, man, I'm willing to step down as president. I got to compete. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Guys, I'm stupid. I'm a horrible businessman, but I'm a very passionate person. I love the company. And I told them, as long as the season's going on, I won't be prying and doing little cheater moves and trying to get advantages with my team versus everyone else's team. I want to really compete and win a championship in the Team Combat League's first inaugural season like we're having it right now. We're in week 8 of the season. We're fighting my team, by the way. I named it myself. It's called the Las Vegas Hustle. Why? Because we hustle here in Las Vegas. We work all night, we work all day, but we're about winning and having success here in the Silver State. So I named our team the Las Vegas Hustle. And this week, this Friday night, live stream on Team Combat League YouTube channel, you get to see the Las Vegas Hustle fighting the DC Destroyers with Coach Barry Hunter, a very famous coach and has a great team. So I rambled about how it started. We're a company. We have different teams in different cities. We have Las Vegas, which is the Las Vegas Hustle. We have Los Angeles, which is the Los Angeles Tengus. We have Dallas, which is the Dallas Destroyers. We have Atlanta, the Atlanta Attack. Right now, they're the best team in the league, beating everybody up, the Atlanta Attack. The second best team in the league, we have the New York City Attitude. And that's my favorite name of any team, New York City Attitude. They're awesome, really aggressive team. And who else we have? I'm missing one more. Sorry. DC, New York. Yeah, I said all the teams. Yeah. LA, Las Vegas, DC, Dallas, Atlanta, and wait, sorry. LA, Las Vegas, DC, Dallas, Atlanta, and New York. Yeah, that's right. It. Those are the teams. And there's 18 members on each team, and everyone fights. Here's the kicker, what you guys been waiting for. 1 round each. Imagine an 18-round competition, because even though it's a team dynamic, this is not a game. Fighting is not a game, as you know. So an 18-round competition. Las Vegas versus LA. Every round, 2 new fighters going at it for 3 minutes. No headgear, normal boxing gloves like real boxing, because this is real professional boxing, but a team concept. You got 1 round to impose your will. Just like in the championship rounds, you got 1 or 2 rounds to impose your will. And that's what Team Combat League's about. You're going to see every round is exciting. If you guys don't believe me, go to YouTube right after you get off this interview with John Morgan and look up Team Combat League. Click on any link. And we've had 7 weeks of fights. If you click on any link and watch it for 3 minutes, you're going to be hooked. Every fight's explosive. There isn't a boring fight. It's crazy. It's insane. And it's a boatload of energy and excitement. And people are really loving the Team Combat League. Our initial numbers are really great. And we're really excited about this new product. We're a supplement to the great sport of boxing. Boxing is already a great sport. We're a supplement to that. We're additive to boxing. And we're really excited about our product in Team Combat League.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about, because it's awesome. You said it. I mean, a fighter only has 3 minutes. A boxer only has 3 minutes. There's no need to hold back. There's no need to pace yourself. There's no need to, let me settle into routine. So it is exciting. Like all the things that maybe people might criticize about boxing, it's eliminated by this. But I guess I was curious, and I love what you said. We're a supplement. We're not trying to take away the great sport of boxing. But I just wonder, what is the feedback from inside the sport of boxing? Because you're as connected as anybody. Are they looking at you as like, what are these crazy yahoos out there doing? Or do they see like, oh, this is kind of a fun little new version of what we already do? What's the feedback been like?
Well, the feedback at first was some pushback. We started 8 months ago. We had tryouts in several different cities. We did everything the right way. We went through the commissions. We weren't getting approved. Ahmed has done a really wonderful job being persistent, putting his money where his mouth is. This is a multi-million-dollar company. This isn't small stuff. Guys, we're giving fighters 6-figure contracts. They're getting full medical insurance for the year. They're fighting one round a week. You know, we have a 12-week season, and then we have the playoffs coming up. Next year, we're going to expand to 12 teams. So we're going to have double the amount of teams this year. Think about this. 18 fighters on each team. That's 104 fighters that we're changing lives right now, making money, not taking too much damage from excessive rounds. We have doctors on staff. We're doing everything we can to keep these fighters safe. If you take too much damage in your fight, you can't fight the next week or however long the commission suspends you. Originally, though, there was a lot of pushback. People didn't understand. They're saying you got a 20-0 pro fighting an amateur coming out the amateurs. It's not right. It's not right. But when we did all these tryouts all over the country, it showed just get your 20-0 doesn't mean you could beat this 19-year-old kid with 75 amateur fights coming from a system where everything is about getting your hands off and being fast and effective. So we've seen a lot of this happen. A pro 22-1 fighting a guy 1-0 and they lose. So it just shows you, man, it's all about what the sport entails and the details of the sport. So now, 6 months later, for instance, 8 weeks into the season, we got excellent boxers like Michael Hunter, U.S. Olympian on the Las Vegas team. We got guys like Hasim Ruckman fight for the D.C. team. We got Greg Hardy fight for the Dallas team. You know, guys are coming in. There's so many undefeated fighters in the league, pro boxers with real high-level guys. Roy Jones came to our gym just 3 days ago now on Sunday. He brought 2 fighters to me, 2 excellent undefeated fighters. And if you go to my YouTube, my Instagram page, 3 posts ago, you'll see what Roy Jones himself had to say about Team Combat League. So there was pushback 6 months ago. Now everyone's loving what we're doing because we're paying guys. We're not making them do excessive rounds. We're keeping them nutrition and giving them money and full coverage insurance. And it's a really exciting team sport. Last thing that people aren't thinking about. Imagine if you're the 18th round, you're the guy fighting in the 18th round of a tie match. This isn't just about you winning or losing. It's about you winning for your team. And by the way, on BoxRec, it's a team concept. It's not like you lose and it ruins your BoxRec. It doesn't even go to that. There's a separate compartment, a separate department on BoxRec for Team Combat League, just like they have it for the BKFC, the bare knuckle boxing. So it doesn't affect your normal record on BoxRec either. So you have nothing to lose, man. You can make money. Lots of boxers only fight 2-3 times a year anyway. So you could join the Team Combat League, fight every week, have a great platform to market yourself to the world, and you can actually get better because everything is so right now. You don't have time to waste time. And people are loving it, man. And I hope all you guys check out Team Combat League. You're going to love the energy and excitement, I assure you. By the way, Ray Flores, Paulie Malignaggi, Joe Goossel, Bubba Jenkins, these guys are the announcers, man. It's high-level boxing. And I hope you guys check it out, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
I love it, man. Great stuff. Well, it is definitely worth checking out. So hopefully people will give it a shot. It's a nice concept. It really does make it exciting. And it's pretty cool to see how you passionate are about it. Hey, listen, I want to ask you, I know you got a workout session to get to, but man, you talk about guys making money, getting insurance, changing the game. You've had a front seat for this Francis Ngannou situation, man. I got to ask what you think, because seeing the game as long as you have, man, this seems like, it was a game-changing type situation. Now, how much it'll do for the future, we'll find out, but we've never seen anybody do what he did. I'm curious what you think about the journey that he took, and I'm also curious what you think about is a big boxing match going to happen, and how challenging is that going to be? Like, what do you see as the future for Francis right now?
Well, first of all, the future is very bright. I just talked to Francis maybe 7-8 hours ago. Francis is very happy, guys, and my tone is changing because this is a very serious matter. Anytime someone does something revolutionary, there's always pushback. Anytime someone steps outside the fold of the normal, people always question it. There's a certain profoundness in having the courage to step off that cliff, because you could die from that fall, or you could be lifted to astronomical levels. Going into that surreal gunfight, guys, Francis looked spectacular in the gym. I talked about it a million times. I was like, Francis is going to kill someone. He destroys his knee 3 weeks out. Everyone, myself, Coach Eric, Markel, everyone, I'm sure his family in Africa, was saying, man, this is your last fight. You refuse to sign your restructure, your renewal, your new contract. You are crazy to take this fight. If you lose, you're going to get banished and you're going to get lowballed. Francis knew the repercussions of losing. In all actuality, with the injury he had, success went, in my mind, from 100% to woo. I don't even want to say the percentage, but it wasn't very high to me. I believed in him, but the reality is like, man, we're in trouble. Anyway, for him still to get a huge multi-million-dollar offer a few days before the fight, when most people would have broken sign right there, I definitely probably would have. I can't even lie. You know, I bet on myself, but it's too risky shit, man. For Francis not to sign, take that fight, win it the way he wanted, and to then take a year off because of the championship clause. It's crazy. But guess what? All of his thoughts on what he wanted were bigger than the money, man. And sometimes that's what it's about. We're also driven. I told you earlier, I'm a stupid businessman because I could have lost money with this Team Combat League deal if the guys didn't know how serious and sincere I was about their product. And I would have lost money from president to coach. But it was a passion I had to wanting to compete in the first season of Team Combat League. Francis had 10 times that passion about what he wanted. He wanted some kind of fairness to fighters. He wanted some kind of guarantees. He wanted insurance. He wanted a partnership. He didn't want to feel like the father and the son. He wanted to feel like, hey, I'm bringing something to the table. You're giving me a platform. Let's make this a partnership, which is unheard of, especially in the sport of MMA. It's about the company, then about the fighter. People should be happy that Francis had the courage to step off that cliff and do what he did. And so I'm extremely proud of him because it could have cost everyone money. But at the end of the day, there's certain things more important than money. I live by that creed. And Francis showed that he definitely lives by that creed. So now he has what he wants. He's happy with his situation. He can affect people across the board, not just in Africa, all over the board, because there's going to be another popular fighter someday popping up real soon who will have that resounding effect on the people. And now there's a place you can go for contract negotiations. Just like in the NFL, the first guy who got a $100 million contract was probably a defensive lineman. And everyone's like, what the hell is going on? $100 million? Are they crazy? Now everyone's getting $100 million contracts, especially on the defensive line. Francis is doing the same thing for MMA. And for anyone to hate, for anyone to say the PFL is not smart for doing it, the PFL are astute guys, just like in any business. The guys at Team Combat League are astute guys. No, the guys in the UFC are astute guys. No one's going to blow money up and just light it on fire. So trust me, the PFL got exactly what they wanted out of Francis Ngannou, and Francis got exactly what he wanted out of PFL: a partnership, respect, a way to give back to the fighters, a way to improve the entire landscape of the world of mixed martial arts. And that's what he's done. So I applaud Francis for that. He's a great guy, and he's a pioneer in that regard. Now, as far as him fighting, of course, you know he got to fight. Francis is a fighter. He's a great businessman, much better businessman than me. But he's a fighter, and he's going to be fighting this year for sure. And that's all I can say about it. But you will see Francis get his scrap on this year.
Oh, that's exciting to hear, man. That's exciting to hear. All right, well, listen, dude, I know you're super busy. I know you got to run to this workout. I'm going to ask one last question because I got Timothy Cuamba. We just talked about one of the biggest stars of the sport in Francis Ngannou. Now we're going to talk about an up-and-coming guy that a lot of people might not have heard about, but I love stories like that because I called this man's fight in Tough Enough. I called this man's fights in CFFC, and every time I was like, this kid's got something, man. He's got something. And now he's about to be on the Dana White's Contender Series, potentially in the UFC. I love getting to see guys chase their passion and live their dream like that. Tell me about Timothy Cuamba, where he's progressed since the last time I saw him in CFFC, and what you think about him being on the Contender Series.
That's a perfect way to end it because I love Twilight Timmy. Twilight Timmy had his first amateur fight at 9 years old. I was the ring announcer. And after this fight, I'll never forget it. He knocked the kid out in like 25 seconds. And I grabbed the mic and gave him his first ever interview. And I said, you are the future of the sport. And lo and behold, he comes to the gym. He's trained his whole life. We started training together. And he went through Tough Enough, won 2 championships in your company that you worked with, Tough Enough. He whipped ass in CFFC. And now, August 29th, he's finally fighting the Dana White Contender Series. Timmy's dream was to be a UFC fighter. We've actually had offers in other big companies to sign, but Timmy's like me. He's not the greatest businessman. And he said, Coach, I'm sorry. My dream is to fight a UFC and become a UFC champion. I don't want anything else except for that. And August 29th, he has his chance to accomplish that dream. And how lucky are we? In the same gym, we got 4 guys who went through that same dream and already accomplished it. Javid Basharat, Farid Basharat, Amir Albazi, and Ode Osborne. Timmy trains with these guys weekly, and they all have accomplished the dream he wants to accomplish. So that gives Timmy a huge psychological confidence booster, even though Timmy's the most confident kid in the world. He really feels like this is destiny. He's in the gym where guys have already done it. I got 4 guys who did it. Why can't Twilight Timmy be the 5th? And all over the world, remember the name Twilight Timmy because he's coming. And having the mentorship and tutelage of a guy like Bubba Jenkins, he's been training with Bubba Jenkins for years now. So don't think he's not well-rounded. Though he can let his hands go. I tell him if he were born in the 80s, he would have been a Mexican boxer for sure. He has everything in him in his DNA like the boxer. Aggressive, gritty, loves to scrap. But he was born in the MMA era, so he's an MMA fighter. But he's cut from that Julio Cesar Chavez cloth. And I can't wait to see him dominate his opponent August 29th. And though he has a very strong opponent from Canada, and get to the UFC so we can make the first goal and catapult that goal into other goals. It's going to be great to see. Bubba Jenkins, big shot to him fighting the PFL June 8th. That's next Thursday. Big shot to Amir Albazi fight this Saturday. Don't miss the UFC. We're happy. And by the way, Friday night, Team Combat League. Team Combat League YouTube channel, 7 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Las Vegas Hustle versus DC Destroyers. See us, support us. Thank you for having me, John. Let's go.
Dewey, your passion is legendary, man. I could talk to you all day, but I know you got your fighters to go take care of. Thank you for the time. We'll make sure and do this again real soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you.